I know there's been some time. I hope that you can forgive me and that we can catch up in this video. Hello everyone, thank you so very much for joining in. This is Oliver from the Trinidad Gardeners channel and I'm so happy that you're here. I'm glad that you're back for another video because I haven't been here with another video in some time, and that has been for a few different reasons. The most important one is that my actual place where I reside has changed. So it's not very far from where my previous garden was. Not really my previous because I still do garden in that space, but the majority of the videos I think will be coming from here, this new spot. So you're gonna get accustomed to this new area. If you have been following on TikTok, mainly TikTok, you would have already seen this premises, and you would have already seen this garden to some extent. But the folks on YouTube, and I know a lot of you on YouTube, you don't make it onto TikTok and vice versa. So, I mean, no problem either way. I'll try my best to make sure that each community, different age group as well, gets catered for. But this is the new place that you're going to be seeing the majority of videos coming from, both on YouTube and on TikTok. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be in the last garden or the garden that you have known me from. I still do have full access to it. It's just that I'm no longer there in the way that I used to be, so that it's a bit difficult sometimes to film videos. And just the entire process of moving and just getting set up and then just being regularly busy with regular, activities. It has been kind of hard. Sorry if I'm squinting, but the glare is very strong. But this is like the time I have to record because if I don't do it now, I don't know when I'll get another chance to do it, and I know I have been on a hiatus for some time, so I don't want to put it off for any longer. So I'm going to tell you all a bit about what I have going on in this garden. So and then I'll go into an actual tour. So you can, if you want to get the actual tour, you can just kind of fast forward until you start to see plants. But before I go into that, I just want to give you a little idea of what is different. Sorry if I keep touching this. There's a big aloe plant here. I don't know if you all can see. It's very heavy, so I will push it up. Oh my God, it's so heavy. Yeah, you keep on juking me up. Right, so this premises is basically different in a way that is positive and negative. On the one hand, I'll start with the negative first. The main difference between this premises is that it has no access to any kind of land, no lawn, no turf, no anything like that. It's purely concrete from the front to the back. There's no kind of dirt. That was not my decision, but that's how it is. So everything has to be in containers. So when you see this little garden tour here, it's going to be entirely in containers. And that can be positive in a sense, even though I'm saying it is a negative, because I would like to have access to land, but that's just not the case. Now you have to work with what you have. It can be positive because not having the bush, that just land that grows up so many weeds, you don't have to worry about weeding as much because it's a lot easier to control the weeds inside of a container than inside of in the ground, in the earth. Another thing is that some pests like the African giant snail, right? They don't affect here. They never affected me in my other premises, anyways, because it just never was an issue. But it could have because there's so much land, so they can't, grow and breed in that area. Here it's a lot harder because it's just pure concrete and there's really no kind of land for them to be able to hide or to be in. So it's good in that sense. It's also good in the sense of like you don't have to worry too much about snakes and that kind of thing because of the concrete. But of course, again, that's not necessarily ideal because that's not natural. You do need to have land for for long-term vegetation to take place. That's just how the rule is, right? So I've been working with it, and I'm happy to just have containers where it's just simply no kind of weeding or whatever, but you are limited in your space, and you do have any kind of dirt that you want to bring in, you do have to bring it in, which is convenient. So I can go back and watch my own videos where I teach myself now how to grow in containers because I don't really have a choice. And if you remember, in most of my growing guides, I always talk about people that live in places where you do not have access to land, that you shouldn't be limited and you should be able to grow whatever you want. Now I'm in that position, so I'm so happy to have these videos and I'll go back and relearn and see what I can do and see things that I may feel even discouraged to try to grow, that you can grow it. You can have a booming nice garden even if you don't have that access to land. Now, in terms of the positive side now, is that, well, as I already mentioned, you don't have to worry too much about the weeding, you don't have to worry too much about the pests, and in addition to that, it's easy because before, because of where the land was, I would have to, if you think about it, where I leave to go to work every day, you come down from the house, and then I have to go to the back of the house to come back, and then go to my car. And this might seem like something small, but sometimes when you're so busy, and it can get very busy, and I mean, I don't like saying that I'm busy because I don't like to be busy. I wish I didn't have to be busy, but sometimes you just have to be, right? And it's just part of life, and you have to learn how to deal with it. You have to learn how to live with your situation, and everybody has a different situation. So for me, in terms of how my logic works, is that if I'm really busy and I have to go backwards to my garden to then go forwards to my car, it's very easy for me to come down from my house, go straight to my car, and head out. And that means the garden gets neglected. Whereas now, because I don't have the access to land, and also how this property is set up, I'm able to come down from my house, my plants are here, the car is here, so then I have to see my plants on the way to the car. And I think that that is something to not be neglected in your planning of your garden. If you're somebody that gets really, really busy, you're somebody that you're always on the go, but you do want to have your garden and you don't want it to become a task, try to place your garden two things. Try to place it where you have to pass near to it to get to wherever you need to go. So that way you're going to see things, and you're going to be affected, you're going to be stimulated by that, and then you can have a better chance of participating in your garden and taking care of issues as soon as you see it, as opposed to if you're somewhere behind your house where you have to go every time. Not that that's bad. I mean, that's how it always was for me, and it worked. It's just that if you have that option, put it where it can be. And the second thing is that if you can put your garden near to a water source, that is something that with the dry spell, with the heat wave, everything that we had for the past few months of this year, it feels like the entire year, to be honest. If you're able to put your garden close to where you have access to water, whether that's a stream or a lake, or if you have a hose, like is my case here, a hose, barrels, whatever you have your garden nearby. So it really helps in your mental just process to have it nearby, so you're not stressing out as much when you do have to water your plants. If you see your plant droopy, you can immediately water it without taking away too much from your other activities, which of course are also important. So there's positives and there's definitely negatives. But okay, I've rambled on very much. I hope you all well, if you missed my rambling, then there you go, you have some rambling. If you didn't, then I'm very, very sorry, but that's just the name of the game. So I'll go straight into the garden tour, and I hope that you enjoy. So as I said, it's a full-on container garden. Everything is inside buckets and containers. These are recycled 1-gallon containers. These lettuces are just around 3.5 weeks. These are grown from plants. The other ones there were grown from seed, my seed that I saved. Here I just have some like pepper, cucumber in this recycled basket here, which you've all seen before. I had cherry tomatoes inside of before, and carrots. These are some watermelon. Trying quite a few different types of watermelon. First time in containers. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. I think I'm a bit crazy for trying to grow big watermelon in these buckets, but we'll see what ends up taking place. Tomatoes in the back there, baygon also in containers. Not so worried about these because I've grown these before in buckets. On this side we have one more cucumber inside of this bucket here. I'm trying to stagger the growth. Over here we have a sugar baby watermelon. This is a bigger bucket, so hopefully, fingers crossed. This is the Florida giant watermelon, all grown from seeds that I got from just nurseries, agro shops here. I'm hoping for the best. Pak choy is one of the best things that you can grow. These are also recycled 1-gallon buckets and ice cream buckets that just produce pak choy, I think, just very quickly, very easily as well. Another little cucumber. I think I had carrots inside there initially and it seasoned germinate, so I just put a cucumber plant that I had lying around. More baygon, tomatoes inside this bucket here. We have a grasshopper situation, so grasshoppers did this to this little cauliflower plant. More baygon, and then we have more tomatoes. This tomato green really nice. Cauliflower, again, this one didn't get affected, so sometimes that's how it goes. Baygon again over here. and this is the last tomatoes in the garden. So it's a bit on the side as well as the front of the house that we have these plants. And there you go, small little humble garden that we have going on here. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, but more importantly, I hope that you've learned something, and I hope that we can be friends again. And I hope that it hasn't been so long that we can't reconnect. And I'm happy to hear from you all what has been happening in your gardens, what's been going on. Have you been growing? Have you been on a little hiatus in your garden as well? Maybe we all get busy, especially around the summertime when we start to move and we do all kinds of activities. And now Christmas is coming, so, and then there's rain, and then there's everything else. So I'll be really happy to reconnect with all of you, and I really hope that you will follow us on Instagram, TikTok, especially TikTok, because that's where a lot more content comes on. So if ever we go missing again, we can catch up at least on TikTok, or if you're on TikTok, I'll talk to TikTok people about getting onto YouTube, just so that there's one way that even if we can't touch all the different social media bases, that we can at least be somewhere where at least one box is being ticked, and we can connect and we can continue with our gardening community. Of course, if you know anybody who'd be interested in the gardening content that is available here, feel free to share this video and feel free to share the channel with them. And as always, for the first time in a while, get up and get growing. Take care.